Hey guys, how we doing? So it's Crypto Insight UK here. It is the 28th of May, 12:05 p.m. We're going to be looking into the charts today and what I think is going on personally. So, first question we need to address is this a dead cat bounce? What do I think? I personally don't believe we go any lower than we already have. Like 30k, I don't even think we come back down there. I obviously understand what people are saying. There's a lot of negativity in the market. People are scared. Normally when that happens, we do have an increased drop. But the things that you've got to keep your eyes on and understand for me are that a lot of options will have expired or been liquidated on this drop here and again on this drop here. Any weak hands are probably sold out here, and we should be looking to accumulate and buy and get back up out of this drop in this area. And I'll show you on the RSI something that is interesting to me, which is relative strength indicator or index. We are oversold, and not only that, we are bottoming out here, and if you look closely at this now, it could be looking to curl back up in this area. If we get a bit more buying come through, we could be looking to curl back up and get out of there. I think we are oversold. Obviously, we have touched these lows before when we're in this area. This is the very lowest point we were at. We were more oversold at around 17.7. At the minute, we are only at 26, but the last times we were at this level, we did have bounces out of the red area. So there's something to keep your eyes on. One of the reasons people think that we're going to go down is the options. As I've already said, I think most options will have already expired, and I think that retail are actually creating this little downward movement here. So we were at this sort of level when the day started, or when everyone started waking up today. We've come down about 7%, but what people were actually predicting is that we come down into this sort of area here. So what they said is that we were going to have a further between 40 and they said 25 to 20k is what the predictions are I've seen. 35 to 50% correction from here. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think this mini correction is a retail inspired FUD correction because people think that we're going to have a mini crash. And what I actually think will happen is the big boys and the whales know that retail are creating this scenario in their heads, and they will come through and scoop up everyone's fear, uncertainty and doubt, which is where people have been selling off, trying to wait for it to be down to 25k and come back in and buy again because I think they'll beat the market that way. I can tell you one thing for sure, guys, I'd never risk my entire bag on anything like this, because you never can beat the market. I can tell you that in terms of retail investment, and if you just listen to news stories or influencers, you won't beat the market. The only way you can do that is if you have your own game plan, you have your take profit targets, and you stick to them. Even that way, you don't always win, but you've got more chance of winning that way than you do any other way. Right, with that being said, let's have a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. So we're still in the retracement. We've had this big capitulation event where we've come down from the very top to where we are now, 44%, and to the bottom is 53.6%. What's going on here? Well, we can't break above that $40,000 mark and stay above there. We haven't had much. I need to put my volume indicator back in. We haven't had too much volume come through to help us break out of this zone. We had some volume here, but then we couldn't break above this level, which is the 42,000, which was a previous support level. We struggled to break up there. We double tapped on it. We came back down. We've came down into the 33,000 mark, tried to break out of that, stuck on the Fibonacci retracement level, back down to nearly the very bottom again at 31k, and then we have slowly consolidated upwards, and then today with this retail FUD have broken down towards this 35,000 sort of level. What do I think is going to happen from here? I do think what I personally think is going to happen for the next little while for Bitcoin, unfortunately, is we probably just do this. No joke. And we may slowly increase out of this zone, but I think we might have a bit of a painful couple of months trading sideways. But on the upside of that is, I think when that starts to happen, we start to see some rotation into some of the altcoins. What I hope to see is on the next push up for Bitcoin, the altcoins bring more percentage back than Bitcoin has. So let's just use Ethereum actually to start with first. Let's look at the percentage regain we've had from the bottom. So something that you'll notice that's different is that this was the low for Bitcoin, the lowest point will be wicked low, and for Ethereum it wicked actually slightly lower. How far have we retraced for Ethereum? 41% to where we are now. So if you bought in down here, you're 42% actually up on your money to exactly where we are now. Whereas with Bitcoin, if you bought in at the low, which is the wicks, but if we go from this point, or you are 15% up on your money. So as you can see there, you've already 30% extra on your money if you bought Ethereum at the dip rather than if you bought Bitcoin. And I think we'll still start to see some of that percentage gain go towards the altcoins as we make the next retracement. So what I'd like to see happen, so as we know, even when a market's crashing, it doesn't just go downwards, even though it kind of it kind of has here. What I think will happen is Bitcoin will at least retrace up to there, maybe come down again, retrace up to these highs, keep rejecting them, retrace, and maybe trade sideways, like this sort of pattern, a bit like that. And every single time we look to move up like this, I think the alts will gain extra percentages on to Bitcoin. It will still be a slow and hard battle to fight, as we could come down like this. When we come down here, the alts will still come down, but I think they'll retrace more percentages on the ups than Bitcoin does. So what else are we looking at then? Let's have a little look into Litecoin. Litecoin's one that I am watching because it does normally indicate the start of a big resurgence. It has in the past. I remember holding it in 2017 when it was at 30 Great British pounds, and in one day we got all the way up to 120. So that was a massive gain. So as you can see, these waves, it has like a wave pattern, and the waves are getting more volatile every single time there's a wave. And now, bang, look at that one. We're down there, we're down here. That's something that I'd like to see like that. Boom, boom. They're the sort of patterns that I'd like to be starting to see out of Litecoin. There's a few things with Bitcoin. The reason why I don't think it's hit its top, I do think eventually we will come up into this Fibonacci retracement zone, but it could be a long way into the future. I think that one reason for this is we haven't topped out on the Fibonacci retracement levels, and we haven't seen movements from all of our altcoins, which normally indicates the end of a bull run. Obviously, we can't say that the past is going to be exactly the same as what we're in now, but you can have a good indication with things like that. If a few big indicators haven't come through, you can normally say, okay, maybe we're not done yet. One thing that does worry me a bit is we haven't had the same buying pressure as we did selling pressure. But let's just say a lot of people have taken profits and they're waiting for some kind of catalyst before they pour money back into the market. At the minute, we've got a total market cap of 1.5 trillion. We have been all the way up at 2.5 trillion, so there's still $1 trillion sitting on the sideline. As you can see in the total altcoin market cap, I had these two resistance and support levels from this ascending wedge pattern that we had here, or bull flag, which we double tapped down into, which is the area I was talking about. And this top resistance level is now being used as support, so it'd be nice to see if this holds for the altcoin market cap. Did wick down and touch it, does it to be rejecting it at the minute. As you can see, last time it did that, a green engulfing candle came through and we made an upwards move, so let's see if we can get that again on this support. What would I like to see happen? That is exactly the scenario I'd like to see, with some extra volume coming through for the altcoins. Where could we recover to? I think, as I was saying, it could be difficult to recover fast out of this area unless we see some massive bullish news, which I don't think is far away. I think when you're in capitulation events down here and the sentiment is really low, you are waiting for a big piece of bullish news to bring us out of this area. What bullish news could that be? Well, we've seen all the banks are now trading in or saying they're going to offer custody for Bitcoin for their larger, more rich investors. So could we see a Bitcoin ETF come through now they've got their reserves of Bitcoin that they would need in order to be trading that? Another thing that I saw a news article yesterday, I did post about it on my Twitter, is Mike Novogratz, when he was talking about that he's trained 4,000 financial advisors to be able to offer financial advice in Bitcoin. What you got to understand is, first they're going to offer that advice to their rich clients, and then they'll offer it to the retail investors. So they haven't yet offered it to the rich clients. Will probably be around here. So more money will be coming into the market with people with disposable income. At some point, we are going to get scooped up. And then after that, you'll have the retail investors who will come in. So there is still so much money to come into this market, along with that $1 trillion that's sitting on the sideline. This is James Ferdinand Law. On a quick tangent, this is the guy you should be following on on Twitter if you want to see the dates of the lawsuit. He's really cool for that. He puts out what's going on there. I want to just have a look on CoinMarketCap at how this would affect the market if $1 trillion came back in and where it went. If we had $1 trillion come back into XRP, it's actually at 40 billion at the minute. We'd be at 1.04 trillion dollars should that come back into the market, which would effectively with more than 10x the price. It'd be about a 5x the price, so it would put us at about $25, which wouldn't be too far from BitBoy's prediction. So there's a lot of things that could happen in the market at the minute, guys. It's been a big crash, we all can see that, but if you like crypto and you believe it's got space in the future, you should really be liking your cryptos at these prices when you've got these sort of discounts. It's kind of mad that we're seeing that at this point in the market. And there is capitulation events that have happened in the past. I'll take you back to 2017 for Bitcoin, and I'll show you one if this chart goes back far enough. I want to show you, which it will if my chart actually loads. Come on. Alright, well, I'll go onto a different Bitcoin chart and I'll show you this other capitulation event that happened. If you give me 1 second. I want Poloniex because it has normally good historical data on here. Okay, so we are in 2021. Great, that's not showing me either. So we'll go on CoinTrader Pro, and I'll show you on here because this will definitely show it. Cool. We're on the daily here. So if you look into this bull run, where is it? There is a big wick, like here, if this is the one. In 2017, this is the Bitcoin bull run in 2017, and this is where I think we could be in this sort of area. What you can see here is we did have a big wick down in this sort of area here, just as we went on before we finished off our rally to the very top for Bitcoin. Cool. Why is it not showing me the charts anymore? I wanted to show you on the hourly, but it's really mugged me off there. So we'll go back into the daily and see if we can see that. But that's where I compare where we are now to 2017 bull run. Is this big candle and sell off here. It is a bit more exaggerated now, but there is more money in the space. So let's see if we can push up to set them next highs. If we were in that sort of position, the percentage increase that we get from the previous top would be about, where is that at? About another 10 or 11%, and let's see where that would put us. Would it take us to the top of the Fibonacci retracement, which I've been talking about? If it would, 10-11%, then that shows me there's still a little push left in the market in Bitcoin itself. 10-11% would take us right to the top of this retracement. Look, so 10% would take us to about 71,000, and 11% would take us to 72.5. So that is what I am looking for to complete this rally or this bull run in Bitcoin. But then what you still have to imagine is that the altcoins can still pop off from there, and XRP didn't actually pop off until Bitcoin's retracement, which again in 2017, it's not going to show me 2017, but I'll go back to CoinChart Pro again quickly. Should have probably organized this before I started my YouTube video. So what you get for trying to do it all in one take. So in 2017, XRP did not finish its bull run until this point here. So what we had was a big sell-off here, which is where I think we are now, like right down here, and then a big rally or retracement. I think it will be a prolonged period compared to what happened in here, and then we had another big crash for Bitcoin, take us down further than the one before, and this is where XRP finished its bull run. So XRP started to move here, had a retracement with Bitcoin, and then really pumped on and finished in this sort of area here, and that's where I'm looking for XRP to finish in this bull run. Right guys, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please keep your eye out for my podcast. I've got the sickest podcast guest. If you're into finance and crypto, wow, you are going to be mesmerized by who I've got coming on to this podcast. I'm going to do more announcements about it because I really want you guys to get as hyped as I am, because he's literally my investment guru, and I was so surprised when he said he'd be on my podcast. He's a massively influential person in investment space worldwide. So I'm very surprised and flattered that he wants to come and speak to me. It's awesome. It shows how far I've come. But yeah, with that being said, guys, peace up, A-Town down.